Nice.
All right. So, I got to go over this with you guys. Okay. When I was growing up, and I think we all dealt with this at one point as we went, oh man, I'm glad I'm not an old fogey. Like, I'm sure when I'm 30 or when I'm 40, my parents' age at the time, I'm not going to worry about, like, I'm going to be in with all the things that the kids like because I'm a kid right now and I know what kids like. And we have this mindset and it's stuck with us. And then suddenly we turn 30 and we can't keep up with kids anymore, or at least I can't. And I think I figured out the reason why. And it becomes a point in your mind where you consciously go, I no longer want to pursue this. And
26 or something? You're not that old.
Well, 28, yeah. But still, like,
okay, wow.
Like, with me, because growing up, I grew up on the internet, and I actually grew up on the internet. Like, we talk about IRC and stuff like that. Like, that was me growing up. Mm-hmm. But, me, it was PHPBB, the public bulletin boards. We had Guy Online, where I got groomed a lot for some reason. Didn't even know I was getting groomed, but, Guy Online's a grooming pit. You have all these things. And then MySpace was really popular when I was, like, 17, and it took me forever to migrate to Facebook. Like, I think I was 22 before I realized that MySpace was dead. And this is like 2012 before I even migrated to Facebook. And this is someone who grew up on the internet, like Yahoo chat rooms. Like, I grew up on social media. And then at this point, Twitter had been around since 2007. Instagram had been around. And, like, I barely forced myself to get onto Facebook. And now, like, kids are talking about the apps they use to communicate. I mean, it was Vine, and now it's TikTok. TikTok is the major social app, and I can't stand it. I actually cannot stand it. I don't know if just the film quality is so bad, like kids holding their phones vertically. Like, they're not witty. They're 15. They're not smart. They're not intelligent. Like, and their humor is very much like replica humor. It's like watching a bunch of little Filthy Franks who don't know what made Filthy Frank funny. They just thought it was random, trying to be offensive to other people online, while underage girls basically sell themselves like premium snaps. Like, I can't stand it. And so I know in like 3 years, I'm going to be that crotchety old man. Everyone's like, oh, why can't the Moth Man keep up with anything? And that's why. That right there is why. It's because I chose not to continue the trend. I refuse to have a TikTok. I have an Instagram. All I upload on Instagram is Warhammer models. Like, that's it.
I don't even have that, dude. I pretty much only use Discord and Twitter.
Well, I mean, Discord was weird. Like, Discord it's so weird because it feels very much made for the people who grew up on the public bulletin boards.
It's just IRC 2.0.
Yeah, and it's amazing. It's everything we needed. And it's like, as soon as Discord goes, I don't know if I'm going to be able to jump to the next ship because Discord is so comfy.
Yeah, like, honestly.
The only thing Discord, it's missing 500 by 300 signatures, and that's it. If we had that, boom, great, Discord.
I don't know what that means.
I think he means like the signatures that like at the end of forum posts.
Oh God! Oh, those.
Yeah,
those still exist on Guy Online. That's how I know about those.
Oh my gosh,
dude! I actually used IRC, even despite my age, because like the animation community I was in was so fucking behind that we were using like IRC clients and old ass forums with signatures and shit, and it was so analog. It was great, but
League of Legends for the longest time, when League of Legends first started and it was still run by Pendragon and it wasn't owned by China.
Yeah.
I used to, like, Pendragon would just chill in a Quake IRC. Like, he just had this old Quake IRC that he would do all of his work in and everything. And I would just talk to him. Like, I'd be like, hey, you want to get a game in? He's like, oh, hell yeah. So it was great.
Yeah, no, I liked IRC. It was fun. It was like a weird... I mean, it's basically just a Discord server with one channel.
I mean, you could have multiple channels. The problem was but
they weren't linked in any way. They were just kind of existing on a server. And
it's funny to say there's no user accountability on IRC because that's kind of what IRC was for. Is like you didn't track IPs on IRC and all this stuff.
Yeah, it was all just like really, yeah.
So like, if you could have the name like Brain Surgeon, someone else could have the name Brain Surgeon in the IRC and you'd never know who the same person was. That was good because then the FBI can't be tracking your ass for pirating King's Quest.
Yeah,
it is a lot more secure than Discord.
That's their number one priority.
Because there was nothing relying on it. You bought your own servers, you did all your own shit.
Or you just hosted your own server, yeah.
Yeah, that too, that works.
Okay.
All that shit. It was all like, there was no company dependency where they can steal all your information and sell it to big boys.
Man, listening to Moth talked to the youngin about the Wild Wests of the old internet. It's really invigorating, considering I almost completely missed the whole thing.
Well, I mean, if you want, we can go even further back. I could take you back to like 1999, where if you wanted to get anime, you had to get like this little magazine. It was like the Sears Catalog of anime, and you had to like go through what VHSs you wanted, and you had to like write them a letter with a $20 bill in it to get it.
I heard about that. I never like, obviously I didn't really ever do that, but like I heard about like the fucking like horror stories about that shit. It was like,
oh yeah, well no, and what they would do is you'd have to get a hold of them. Sometimes you could write them an email, like towards the end of the 90s, you could write them an email, but a lot of the time you had to write them a letter and say, hey, can you send me the catalog? They would send you the catalog, and what they did is because they wanted to like save money. Is the porn catalog was sent with the normal catalog with this little like this little seal on it that's like, if you're a child, don't open this section of the catalog, and that's it.
Nice.
And they just fucking sent you the catalog.
Yeah, just like you could trust them. We could trust them.
Yeah,
it's fine. It's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, and so you like go through and you just like look at the names, and like this is back when the names were even more Japanese than they are now, like where everything is like. High grade Tenchi Panic is like the most American sounding name you could find, and you're just like, oh, I wonder what this is about. And the synopsises are always like, a brother and sister save the world. And you're just like, oh gosh.
Oh man, that sounds amazing.
Save the world.
As generic as people say anime is these days, I've went back and watched some old stuff. Man, it's just the ugliest shit. I can only imagine living in that time.
It's totally a generic effect where people think like I don't know. This probably applies to like everything ever. And I'm not even stating any new ground by saying this, but everyone always thinks like it was always better like 10 years ago because but it's like the exact same shit, just in different ways.
Nah, man. Slayers was peak art style. Like. Give me those jelly bean faces.
Hold on,
I can't even argue with you. Slayers is like I've never actually sat down to watch more than one episode at a time of Slayers, and it was always whenever it was just airing on.
This style.
Yeah, that old 80s as fuck style.
That is the best style right there. That is like the original harem art style with the spiky haircuts and the freaking flagpole hair.
I don't know, man.
Hey, Moth, do you remember when not every single anime looked exactly the same?
Oh no, I'm with you, but I mean that's an exaggeration though.
Well, no, you had three traditional styles back in the day, and it was very easy to tell it apart. You had the shonen style, and it was very squat characters like Pokemon. And then you had the style, the shoujo style that was targeted towards women, and it was very tall and graceful characters. And then you had the style that was like almost seinen, but not quite. And that was just ridiculously almost cartoonish characters. And that was Slayers. Like, that was the jelly beans with the big tits. Like, you knew what you were getting.
And it's weird, these days, there's more styles than we know what to do with, but there's one or two styles that are actually popular.
It's the SAO style.
Yeah. Like every single main character has to have the exact same face, and that's how you make money.
To be fair, shonen protagonists haven't really looked different in 20 years. I mean, unless it's a card game anime, like you're not going to tell a difference.
I'm really bad about this, but in the opposite way, like the opposite direction. I'm really like awful for this because like I almost exclusively seek out things that look like different, essentially. Like but to the point where I ignore shows that are potentially really good just because they have the generic style. Like it's to a fault. Like I'm like, oh, I'm being like cool and quirky, but also I just don't. I will like I don't know what's a good show.
What's a good show that has like a generic art style?
Yeah, I guess Kaguya, right? Like that's an exception for me.
Oh, Kaguya. I thought you said Kaiji. I was like,
no, Kaiji is like the complete opposite. I love Kaiji because I got into it because I thought like, oh, this looks so unique, and it was.
Oh, I mean, I was gonna say Drifters, but then I remember like Drifters has my favorite style, so I was like, never mind, that doesn't work.
Drifters is pretty it's pretty unique.
Drifters isn't really unique. It just has like the faces are like. They're just slightly more exaggerated, but also kind of look realistic. It's really interesting.
I wouldn't say these look realistic at all, to be honest. Drifters also, Drifters. Yeah, that's what I meant. I don't think they look realistic at all. They still look very anime. They're just like a lot more, like more exaggerated features, I guess. Like the eyes are huge. And
there's one thing at this point. Like there's two. I mean, the one thing that you guys know is like. Big muscular men punching each other. Like, you know that's going to get me. But the other thing that just Gao. Like, Gesu Gao is just any anime that really drives facial expressions right now. I've been loving. That's why, what was it? The gambling one. The high school girls gambling was really good.
Oh, yeah, the trash.
Kakeguri.
Yeah, right? Kakeguri. Yeah, Kakeguri. Just beautiful. And then Drifters had a lot of Gao faces in it as well. So it's just like...
Kaiji for whores.
Yeah, Kaiji was great. Yeah, Kaiji for whores.
Kaiji. So basically what you're saying here, Moth, is that you're an old man who wants to do nothing but watch porn.
No, actually, I don't actually like ecchi anime at all. Like, at all.
No, you just want them to be making that face that looks like they're getting fucked.
No, that's Ahi Gao. Like, Gesu Gao is like smug. It's unbelievably weird... smug.
No, it's not even smug. It's more like demeaningly sadistic. Yeah, like, it's like they're mocking you vehemently. They are...
Well, what's the main girl's name in Overlord? Like Albatross or something? Fucking
Albedo.
Yeah, Albedo. She does great Gesu Gao because she's got that gorilla face. They actually make fun of her for it.
If only she was a fucking character.
She doesn't need to be a character. Her whole job is sexual tension.
I'm not going to go off on Overlord today, okay? I'm not going to fucking do it.
This is not the time and not the place. Welcome, everybody, to the We Hate Anime podcast. It's the only podcast that hates anime almost as much as I hate reading off a script. I'm your host, English Mike. Joining me, as usual, is the one who watches. That would be the Moth Man.
Heyo.
And my amphibious friend, the Frog King.
That's me.
So, starting off, we've already went into it. Let's talk about Godzilla. And I'm going to surprise you, Moth. I don't think we're going to argue about it.
Oh, I really hope we're not going to argue about it, because I hated that movie. Like, so first off, like, I know that's taken off a huge bite and just being like, oh man, I hate Godzilla. No, I grew up on Godzilla. Like, when the Sci-Fi Channel first started and all they would air is Godzilla, like, reruns. And, like, you'd be a kid and you'd go to, like, I don't know if you guys had a Cars or a Safeway growing up, but that's, like, the main store in Alaska. We have a Cars Safeway, and, like, the movie section, all they would have is Godzilla movies. Like, Godzilla vs. Spider Island, Godzilla vs. Mothra, like, all those original Godzilla movies. I had every single one of them on VHS. I love Godzilla. And I get everybody's 2014, like, oh, it wasn't a very good Godzilla movie. No, it wasn't. Neither was Godzilla 2001 or 99, the Taco Bell Godzilla. But this one was actually bad. And all those things people are seeing right now where reviewers are like, there's too much monster action in it. No, there is no monster action in this movie.
Yeah.
This movie is 110 minutes long, and there are maybe 10 solid minutes of monster fighting. Are there scenes with monsters doing stuff? Yeah, there's a couple here and there, but there is 10 minutes of monster fighting. The rest of the movie is just an angry single father screaming at the military. Oh, and something about eco-terrorism.
Man, it's even worse than that. But before I go into my spiel, do you have any history with Godzilla, Frog?
I have literally none. I think the most experience I've had with Godzilla is that I rented a Wii game about, like, Godzilla fighting people, and I thought it was dumb, and I didn't play it anymore.
Was that a Godzilla King of Monsters or Destroy All Monsters?
Know, man. I don't fucking know.
It was originally a GameCube game, and it's like a 4-player brawler, right?
I think so. It was like a 3D arena fighter, and it sucked.
Yeah, it did suck. It's a terrible game.
Yeah,
that game would have been better if all the characters would have been unlocked from the beginning, because you can just fuck around in it, but you have to play through the shitty game to unlock all the characters you actually want to play.
Yeah, and Mechagodzilla kicks your dick in. Like, yeah. Mechagodzilla is unbeatable, because I think they did, like, a life system back in the day, and it was just like, what the hell?
Oh yeah, I remember that.
So yeah, I actually I'm curious, because I haven't, like, I'm not into Godzilla at all. But seeing all the talk about it recently has actually gotten me curious about it. So I actually looked up some clips from other Godzilla movies. I looked up some Godzilla monsters, just like some, like, tokusatsu, like giant monster stuff, etc. I know Godzilla isn't exactly Is it count as tokusatsu?
It is.
Okay.
Tokusatsu means basically action with effects.
Oh.
So that includes...
That's very generic. It's very vague. Okay, I thought
it typically means people in suits with actions that have some kind of effects.
Because
like,
the way
Sentai with its big explosions and shit.
The way I thought of it was like Sentai and, like, Gridman, etc., stuff like that. Like, just kind of like this, almost like a Saturday morning type deal. But I guess that counts as well. I mean, was Godzilla a Saturday morning thing? I don't know.
No, Godzilla was movies. Like they actually did a movie every year. It's kind of like what they do with One Piece, where like every year you get a One Piece movie. That was Godzilla throughout the 70s.
Oh, okay.
Except most of them were good.
Hey. You gonna tell me right now that Strong World wasn't good?
I don't know which one that is.
That the island of Dr. Meku or whatever that One Piece movie wasn't good?
One.
I've seen a quarter of one of them, my friend.
Okay, well, I'm not going to tell you One Piece movies are good because they're terrible, but Strong World was actually written by Ichio Oda, and so that's like the only one he's actually done, and it's pretty good. And then the guy who did Summer Wars and the first Digimon movie, the one
Mamoru
where
Hosoda.
Yeah, he did a One Piece movie, and it is by far the best one of the group.
That's the one I want to see, but I don't know which one it is, and so I've not even tried to look for it.
Movie 6. It's the Island of Captain something. So like if you just type in One Piece, the Island of, you'll get it.
I feel like every single one is the island of something, though.
No, I mean
that's because every single thing, every arc is an island.
That's like the entirety of One Piece is just figuring out what the island is of.
You know, but
this time we're on the island of cakes, and then she's a bitch who eats cakes and shit. Like, and then she doesn't. The cakes.
No, it's worse than that, man. Like, she could steal your soul through your ass.
Wild,
by
Kappa.
Turning you into cake.
We're gonna talk about Sarah again. Anyway, we're going a little off track.
So Godzilla, I am just the biggest, because it comes back to my love of tokusatsu, and I think Godzilla's where that started. Big, dumb action movies with fake as shit people in rubber costumes.
Yeah.
And most of when you're watching that as a kid, you're seeing it, and your imagination is what's going. You're seeing the floppy Rodan wings, and you're like, wow, those are flipping up gusts of wind. It's so cool. But really, it's just a man in a very poorly made costume, and occasionally they'll just have a little model attached to a string, and they'll do like a zooming shot past it. They're very not poorly made, because the direction in a lot of Godzilla movies are fantastic, but they're typically like very fake looking movies that are really fun, and that's kind of what I like so much about tokusatsu. And I actually, in the stories in almost all of them, they're not great. Honestly, there are some.
It's a different monsters popping out to re-terraform the planet. I mean, oh man, this monster drills hole in the ground and it's stopping our construction project because the ground is no longer fertile. Like, it's dumb. Like, it doesn't have to make sense. Hey, your baby is being eaten by giant spiders. Go get it, Godzilla. Mm-hmm. Like, they're no plot.
Yeah, they are vehicles for just really fun action. There are some, like the original Godzilla movie, the Japanese Godzilla movie from 2015, and even Final Wars. Like, Final Wars is a goofy plot, but it's a really interesting plot, in my opinion. They have, like, engaging plots and actually have a message, especially the one from 2015. That one's like, fuck you, Japanese government, the movie. So they have the ability to tell those kinds of stories, but all they have to be is fun action. And in 2014, its problem was that I actually didn't hate the human stuff in 2014, probably because I'm a big fan of Bryan Cranston, and I have been since I was a little kid. And I mean, as soon as it was dead, I wasn't as interested in it. But going forward, it was like his son carrying on his legacy. So I was probably more forgiving than I should have been for that movie. But the monster stuff in that movie sucks, because it's Godzilla, and honestly, a really fantastic design of Godzilla, versus generic monsters called the Mutos that are just fodder. Like, they exist because you know what? It's probably that Toei was like, hey, we don't know if your movie's going to be good, so you can't use the good ones.
They're the bugs from Starship Troopers. Like, if you look at them, they are the infantry totally bugs from Starship Troopers. Like, the exact things. This is ultimately what it comes down to. I don't know why American directors do this, but, like, Guillermo del Toro, if he had gotten the rights to this movie, it would have been perfect. And only Guillermo del Toro, in my opinion, could have done this. And it's because Guillermo del Toro is aware that sometimes audience just want to watch senseless action. And they don't want this great overarching theme about humanity is destroying the planet. They don't want anything. They just want to see Godzilla blow shit up. And
but that's one of the things, though. Like the environmental messages, they've been in Godzilla since the beginning of Godzilla. The problem, though, with King of the Monsters is that it's not on the nose. It's jumping off of Godzilla's fucking nose. Like it's so just it's so obnoxious, and that's like only part one of what makes it so obnoxious. And let me just say this: every single scene where a monster is on screen is amazing to me. In fact, I didn't even start like being bored until probably 40 minutes in. But at that point, I started keeping a mental like count in my head of how much percentage of this movie I wish was removed for action. And it started at 5% of human drama removed. And I think by the end, I was like, man, I could have done with 40% of this movie gone. And that's kind of a big problem.
No, I could have done with 50%. I don't know what it is about American directors wanting to believe that Americans need to be front and center of a movie, or just people need to be front and center for a movie. They don't. It's Godzilla. Put the damn monster in a playpen, let him brawl for 30 minutes straight without cutting the footage. We've proven with the Dragon Ball Broly movie
I was about to mention
you
the Broly
can have
movie,
action for an hour straight and people won't be bored. You do cuts. The Broly movie was smart about it. They were fighting Broly. They were fighting Broly. They took a break. You got 2 minutes of pure comedy while Frieza got his dick beat in.
Yeah.
And then it got right back to the action. They had to do that. That's all they had to do. Movie would have been good. There is 10 total minutes of monster fighting. And of those 10 minutes, it is broken up into 12-second segments over and over and over again. 12 seconds of monsters hitting each other. 20 seconds of a white dude yelling at the government. 12 seconds of monsters hitting each other. 2 minutes of a white dude yelling at the government. That is it. That is the entire movie.
It's not even like a white man yelling at the government. It's literally the two worst parents that have ever existed arguing over who's the worst parent. Oh my God. It's the worst.
Okay.
To the point. Oh, go ahead.
I need you to clear something up for me. I'm not going to say you guys are wrong because I haven't seen the movie at all. Or I'm not going to say anyone's right or wrong. But the biggest complaint I hear about critics about this movie is the exact opposite of what you're saying.
No, it's a marketing
so fucking
scheme.
Weird.
At this point, I'm actually positive it was a marketing scheme. It was the same thing with Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel wasn't a good movie. It wasn't going to be a good movie. It wasn't going to carry the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It wasn't going to take us to a higher plane like the Spider-Man movie did. So they stirred up a bunch of hate, a bunch of fake drama, and they fed it to news outlets, and they fed it to viewers, and we ate it up, and Captain Marvel got way more ticket sales than it deserved and got rated much higher as a movie than it should have been just because they knew how to market it. And that's exactly what they did.
Jones. Jesus.
No, they're turning the Godzilla's gay.
It's just I'm not necessarily going to say you're wrong because that doesn't even seem that like ridiculous to me, honestly, the fact that they would pull that. But it is kind of strange how just like all the critics' things about this movie is there's too much monster fighting.
There's not. There's none. There's none. There literally is no monster fighting in this movie.
The weirdest thing about that is that going into this movie, I wasn't really into it. 2014 was very underwhelming, even though I don't hate it as much as everyone else does. And like the posters and like pre-release material all looked okay. But I don't trust American filmmakers to make a kaiju movie. As soon as I started seeing reviews that were like, man, what's with all this action? Where's the story? I was salivating at the mouth because I was like, wow, maybe someone gets it.
Oh, we all were. Right? We were super excited for it.
And you know what? Honestly, going back to Godzilla 20, did you ever see Godzilla 2015, Moth?
Yeah, of course. I mean, yeah, I saw it. I definitely thought it wasn't a great movie, but as far as like the beginning of a cinematic universe, it was pretty good. You know what's weird?
No, not the American one. I'm talking about the Japanese 2015 one.
The one where they make fun of Americans for making Godzilla fat?
No, this is the one that it's all about. It's an allegory for Japan's government's lack of swiftness in responding to natural disasters after the Nagasaki reactor meltdown from 2012.
Oh, yeah.
Hideaki Anno, who is the Evangelion guy, he wanted to make a Godzilla movie that was just explored that. So most of that movie is politicians arguing about what to do with Godzilla, and it's awesome. Like, there's not that much action in the movie. Godzilla doesn't fight anyone. He just slowly trundles through Japan. And the reason why that movie's so entertaining is, A, whenever Godzilla does do shit, it's literally the hypest shit that Godzilla's ever done, including a power that he's never had before that is just the coolest shit ever. But whenever you see the politicians arguing about what to do, you are made to feel frustrated, as are the characters who eventually say, fuck the politicians, I'm gonna do something. And they enact this crazy fucking plan that works, and it's great. That movie had not nearly as much action as any other movie in the Godzilla pantheon, but it's still one of the best. Cut to this movie, which this movie has like all the ingredients to be a really good Godzilla movie, but just wasn't cooked right. It wasn't mixed well together. You got the Mothra set up to the Mothra being able to track Godzilla, because I guess they bone or whatever, because she's the queen of the kaiju and he's the king of the kaiju.
I mean, I don't know if you watch the old stuff, that really was kind of what Mothra did. I mean, they would summon Mothra to go calm the other monsters down, because that was Mothra's power, was to put things to sleep. That's what Mothra do.
That is true, but they explicitly say shit like, so what, they fucking bone and shit? What's up with that? And the one guy's like, well, I mean, interspecies, maybe they don't. Whatever. So you got that. That's good. Then you got Godzilla, who goes and fights King Ghidorah when he's awakened. And that fight's, like, pretty alright. And then he loses, and then they regroup in another location. They fight again. And like, the beats are there, it's just in between each beat is some of the worst, like, not even like the worst story, because Godzillas don't have good stories, really. Some of, like, the most boring, contrived characters that I've ever experienced. And it's like you said, there's one angry white guy yelling that they aren't killing Godzilla, and his wife, who basically wants to fuck all Godzillas until the Earth becomes the perfect Adam and Eve utopia. And meanwhile, their daughter's like the ultimate centrist and has to deal with both of them.
Why don't we just fuck half the Godzillas?
Did you see King Kong, like 2000? I want to say it was 2017, the King Kong movie with John C. Reilly. Did you see that one?
No.
Yeah, it's terrible and amazing.
No, it's good. It's good for a monster movie. It is exactly what a monster movie should be. It's just monkey beat the hell out of things for an hour and a half straight. That's all the movie has to be. Monkey fight, monkey kill. Giant spiders and things sometimes kill people. It's amazing. Like, that is exactly how a movie should be. Like, and that's what it was. King Kong was great. Godzilla, if it could have harnessed a little bit of what King Kong had done, it would have been perfect. Instead, you just have this very lackluster, like, to me, it's even worse than 2001 Godzilla. Like, it's worse than Taco Bell Godzilla. And Taco Bell Godzilla wasn't even a Godzilla.
Can you give me context for Taco Bell Godzilla? What the fuck?
Okay,
he doesn't know. He's so young.
So during the filming of the Godzilla 2001, Taco Bell was really trying to establish themselves as a fast food restaurant. And you had movies like The Demolition Man, where Taco Bell was just throwing budgets at people. Like, Taco Bell was throwing money at movies so that they could become a mainstay fast food chain. Like, so in 2001, they did a huge ad campaign with Godzilla 2001, where they had the stupid Taco Bell dog running around with a leash going, here, lizard, 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 here, lizard. And you remember this commercial 20 damn years later, because the most obscure, stupid-ass commercial on the planet. And
as soon as Godzilla shows up, he goes, I need that big out of box.
Yeah, exactly. It's just the dumbest. So yeah, 2001 so Taco Bell Godzilla.
You gotta those commercials are classic.
Yeah, it's like who was it? Was it when Code Red came out? Was it Ice Cube who was driving through the desert in a semi truck with like a Code Red in his hand, screaming, "Crack the code, Code Red"?
Oh, I don't remember that, but that sounds like it probably existed.
Yeah,
Taco Bell Godzilla commercial. Oh god.
Yeah,
right, I'm gonna watch this. Keep talking.
No, it's. I think I've said all I need to say about this Godzilla movie. It was bad. It's not a Godzilla movie. The reviewers who are telling there's too much action in it are lying to you. There's too much humans talking. There's too much downtime. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, there's a couple of good scenes. Like the part where Rodan takes out an entire fleet of airships. Like that's interesting. But like
when he does that spiral attack, it's so fucking cool.
It's cool, but it's just I was actually so bored by the humans, I couldn't appreciate the parts of the movie that were actually good. Like
real talk, whenever this movie comes out on Blu-ray and then it hits the the old oceans, I'm probably gonna download it and then recut it to just be like an action fest, and it'll probably be immensely more entertaining.
I honestly think the only part of the movie that got me slightly excited was when Ghidorah ate a power plant and shot lightning out of every single orifice. Like that was awesome.
That was so awesome. Yeah, there was tons of like. I love the action in the movie 100%. Whenever one of my favorite moments is after Godzilla defeats Ghidorah, and like he explodes because he's a nuclear power reactor that's erupting.
Do we want to spoiler this? Just in case you guys didn't guess, Godzilla's gonna win, but spoilers.
Yeah, Godzilla wins. Come on, guys. He has to fight King Kong in 2020.
Oh my gosh. See, I'm excited for that because if they get the director who did King Kong, or Guillermo del Toro, or I want to say James
like how
Cameron.
That name changes every single time you say it.
What, you don't like Ballistic Gel Torso?
Speaking of exciting, let's move on. Frog, you were recommending a show called, how did you pronounce it? Meku?
Meku, I think it is. It's like, okay, so it's not, I mean, it's hard to define. I think it's this, they're trying to make it into a show. Mm-hmm. It was a Kickstarter project, I think. For like this little, I think they're an indie studio that I knew from them making some Eve music videos. Eve's like a Japanese like pop rock band. I like them; they're good. So when I heard they were doing like they're trying to make the actual full length anime on Kickstarter thing, I didn't actually support it. I had found about it after, but they released a full episode with English sub and dub on YouTube. I don't know if you guys watched it. I think did you watch it, Nate? I don't remember.
Yeah, I actually watched it today.
Yeah.
I didn't know there was a dub, though. I really wish I would have listened to that.
It's got problems. It's not perfect, but it's just fascinating to me to see the idea, just like a studio that's kind of... I don't know, it's just heartening to me to see a studio independently make their own thing that they want to make, and they just do it, and it's just cool. And it's got some actually really cool animation at parts. And it's got this...
Oh, yeah. Did you get a chance to look at it, Moth?
No, I did not. I decided to watch something better called Tales of Elethrion.
Also great.
Yeah. Sorry, no, I just did not get a chance to take a look at it. Sorry about that.
Don't worry about it.
It's really, I watched it and I was thoroughly enjoyed.
Yeah.
The story is kind of, like, aspects of the story are really interesting, like the metal, the robot stands that everyone has.
Yeah. Everyone has like a weird like robo arm thing that can do different things. It's a bit paced. Like it's nothing. It's nothing that's gonna like blow your mind. But it's also just like I don't know.
It has though, Moth. It has a very soon character that you will probably really love because she looks like she'll beat your ass.
See,
and she would.
I think you guys are like having this horrible misconception about what I actually like. Like I like strong women, but I don't just like strong women. Like, oh, I'm strong because I'm woman. Like. I like bruisers.
You would like her probably.
Like I like bruiser characters. I play orcs in tabletop games. I like characters that can suplex things. Like that's my thing.
Monks.
No, monks are dumb. Monks are all holy and chaste and shit.
Monks are the actual coolest class in any game.
Monks don't dip their dicks. They're boring.
Monks don't have to dip their dicks. They dip their toes in your fucking eyes.
Yeah, well,
you don't need to dip your dick if you have God on your side.
Exactly. Well, I mean, they're not even like necessarily religious. They're just like super devout to their own causes.
Just saying, man. Bard is master race.
Bards are fucking fun. I can't deny.
I don't know what we're talking about.
Oh, dude, you gotta play Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, you gotta play D&D, man.
We should play D&D.
But if you're Christian, you can only play 2nd edition.
I bet that's a really funny Dungeons and Dragons joke.
Second edition, there was a huge thing. I don't even remember if it was like the Bible Belt did it single-handedly, but basically there was so much lobbying against Dungeons and Dragons that they made an edition that had no mention of demonic enemies.
Yeah.
Weird.
It was a wild time.
Yeah.
I have played one game of D&D, and it was really... I had a lot of fun, but I didn't have a lot of fun playing because the DM was boring. I had a lot of fun playing my character in the moments I was allowed to.
It's definitely, you definitely need to have a good DM and good players. It's like it has to be a perfect storm for everything to go well.
Well, so the best DMs on the planet, you can actually tell a bad DM right away because a bad DM will have combat encounters planned. Like that right there is a dead giveaway. That like unless it's the final mission, like you're in the castle about to take on the warlock or something. If the DM has a combat encounter planned, he's a bad DM. Like
okay, I think that's going a bit far. I think you can plan encounters, and they don't have to be like. Here's the thing: I plan encounters myself, but I don't like expect them to run into them necessarily. I'm like, okay, if this happens, then I have it ready.
Yeah, it's no, that's fine. But what I'm saying is like I can't tell you how many DMs I have where like role play. All right, guys, we're going to end the last 2 hours of the night with a fight scene, and then we'll come back and then role play, fight scene, end the session. Like, sessions are very organic, and a good DM can make them organic.
I mean, I'm not, like, going to pretend I'm the best DM on the planet, because I'm not. I'm actually, like, pretty new at it. It's my second campaign. But I feel like I've fixed a lot of the problems I had before. We're getting way off track. I don't care.
It doesn't matter. Hey, baby, let's just talk, boy.
So, what else do we have on the list here? We got me bitching about fruits baskets for 5 minutes, and then who cares what hate has to say?
Oh. All by myself.
Yeah, stay that way.
But yeah, I don't know. When I dungeon master, I just said the fucking full. When I DM, I don't know. I tend to like. I have combat encounters planned, but I don't usually. I never have a set time for them to happen. They just kind of happen if they happen, and they don't if they don't. Like my last session was supposed to happen. I was expecting my players to go towards a thing I led them to. Basically, I gave them a map of a place, and I thought they were going to go to it. But I talked to them like after the session this week, and they were like, "Oh, I thought that was going to be like a mid-game area. That's like scary, dude." I'm like, "Ah, shit." So I had to just come up with shit on the spot. It didn't end up well in the scenario, but I explained why. But
so in the one, I mean, it wasn't one game. We played for almost a full year.
Oh wow! I mean, that's like you're not even like new at that point. You're experienced. You know what's going on.
It fell apart, and no one wanted to be there towards the end.
Well, that's no fun.
But there was some really cool moments. I played my character. I played a cleric who was chaotic good. He was a worshiper of I don't remember. It's a god of justice. I can't remember. He was half mist giant, so he had like some really cool abilities that like he could I think it was once a rest could levitate. I think 12 feet in the air and some bullshit. Like I could do some cool shit, but also I was chaotic good, and if anyone dared blaspheme my chosen god, I would try and smite them with my book that I was allowed to have as a weapon that had the same attack stats as a mace. It was really fun. And we were playing this campaign, and it was a pre-made campaign, and we were towards the middle. Actually, we were towards the end of this part. We were going into a castle filled with vampires, and we had explored the castle to find relics to open a door. And we had to put the relics in the door in a certain order, otherwise you would get teleported to a waiting area, and you would have to wait there for like 2 turns or whatever we were doing. Everyone got teleported away. I was at the door, and I placed the relic in the right spot. The door opens up, and inside is a mountain not a mountain. It is an army of vampires and like 3 vampire lords. And they all turned to look at me, the God-fearing man I am, and I had the Deck of Many Things, and the Deck of Many Things had allowed me to get a follower, and he was a dwarf, and I named him Beardo Stumps. He was very horny. In fact, earlier in the campaign, he had stuck his dick in a rock because he wanted to know if it would feel good.
How does that work?
It was a magic crystal that we had to put something in, and he got his dick in it before we put the thing in it, and he lost his penis.
Oh, this poor man.
But he ran into the room, and after he ran in the room, my guy was like, "Nope, fuck," and just closed the door behind him, and we just left him there. Good times were had. I'm not against playing Dungeons and Dragons. It's just you have to find the right group, and I don't like people.
No, yeah, I feel that. I think I don't like having groups with random people. I always like to have people I actually know. So most of my groups are all mostly friends. I have maybe one or two guests that I don't know, and I'm willing to give people a chance. But as long as I have mostly people that I understand and I know can play well, it's like I'm all good. My favorite D&D character, conceptually anyway, my favorite character writing wise is probably Lance. But my favorite character who I made as a concept was in my very first 5e game, actually, when I moved to 5e from 4e. And it was like a homebrew race called an Anurian, which is like a 5-inch tall frog. Like, he was tiny.
Wait, you're gonna tell me that you play amphibious characters when you play games?
I know, right?
That's
Shocker.
Fucking crazy.
Yeah.
So
I bet one day I'm gonna come over to your house and there's just gonna be like a Nintendo Entertainment console with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles NES game, and you're just still stuck on the water level 25 years later.
I do have a surprising amount of frog plushies.
That's awesome.
Why frogs? Like, I don't get it. Like,
they're cute, Buff. They're cute.
We're gonna need to have this conversation eventually. But like, what is the appeal of frogs to you? I need to know.
What? What do you mean?
What is so appealing about frogs? Like,
look at them.
But before you judge our Lord and Saint the Frog King, I want you to search your soul and ask yourself, what is so appealing of the cloaca of a bug girl, you sick man?
I got like 30 comics I can send you that go over this, like, and 10 of them are drawn by Americans, about 5 of them are drawn by like South Americans. Like, I can sit here and show you what's appealing. I have graphs and images. Like, you can't ask me for evidence on why moths are attractive. I have it. I can show it to you.
I'm not trying to fuck the frogs is the difference.
On top of that, like, moths can make clothes. You can't make clothes with frogs.
They don't need to. They have tongues.
You can make a condom out of a frog.
Oh, don't say that.
I'm not saying I've done that before, but I am saying I live in the American South. I mean, sometimes you go frog gigging and you get you catch you a nice frog and you get ready to fry her up, but then you're wondering what you got to do with the rest of her. It just happens.
It reminds me of any time, like, for my work, I have to go to North Carolina way too much. And you get all these guys from, like, the deep south, and obviously nothing against anybody, but, like, you get the guys who talk about the stuff they do when they're catfishing. I'm just like, I think I could see now why the South lost the Civil War. Because, like, they just...
The South will rise again.
They're like, yeah, what you got to do there is sometimes you're going to have a crocodile, or you're going to have a snapping turtle and not a catfish, so when you're jingling with your hands, you want to start with a stick. And if the bite's strong enough to take out the stick, then it's a turtle. It's not a catfish. And I'm like,
yeah,
what?
That's just common knowledge. I mean, you need to understand catfishes have really strong mouths, but they can't really hurt you. In fact, a lot of people, if it's water that they know nothing else is going to be in, no copperheads and no snappers.
I have no idea what you just said.
What you'll do is you'll get into the water and you'll just stick your whole arm in there and just slowly wiggle your fingers.
This doesn't seem
a dumbass catfish is going to see that and try and swallow your arm, and then you just grab him by the inside and you caught yourself a sweet old catfish. This is real. This thing that I'm telling you is real. This happens.
It's just, the most uneducated things that my people do here in Alaska is, like, we drink antifreeze. That's it. And yet somehow that still seems more intelligent than wading out butt-ass naked and sticking your hand in the water to catch fish.
Hey, we may not drink antifreeze, but we do use it to make really good moonshine and methamphetamines.
Oh, I mean, no. Up here in Alaska, it's heroin. It's not meth. It's heroin. We love our heroin.
Moth speaks from experience.
No,
frogs are
actually,
cool, right, guys?
yeah. So what's so appealing about frogs here? Because he just, you know what? After talking to Mike here, I can tell you I like catfish a whole lot more than I did a few minutes ago. But I still don't like frogs. So where's your argument on frogs?
Pictures right now?
You're sending pictures of grumpy ass looking amphibians. Like, you could send me a picture of like Froppy or something.
I mean,
oh my god,
why does that matter?
It's so good.
Why does Froppy matter? I'm not interested. I mean, I love Froppy, right? I love she's great, but I'm not interested in a frog girl as much as I am just a frog in general. They're adorable. Look at them.
So are you sexually attracted to frogs or
no?
Not all of us are deviants, just most of us.
I mean, we got an anime podcast. I'm pretty sure Jesus isn't listening.
If I see like a frog girl, like in like a hentai, I don't know, maybe. I don't know. I haven't seen one.
Oh, he's seen one. I can guarantee.
Yeah. He's pretending to be innocent here. No. So
no, wait, no. Frogs. My friend sent me one. Oh, it was alright.
It was alright.
I'm actually
that tongue action, bruh.
I'm glad he actually just summarized it that way because I would really hate to have to cut a conversation about our favorite doujinshis. Like, I'll do it the moment we actually start talking about porn. I will change the topic because that ain't happening.
I will make everyone, my family, everyone uncomfortable because people are going to know about this. And my name is attached to this podcast. My full God-given name. So when we talk about my favorite ones, I will be ostracized and I will be proud.
You know what, on second thought, let's make episode 3 just like our favorite doujinshis then. Like, and I want you to like, I want you to do dry readings of them. Like,
that would be cannonballing into the deep end without our floaties on.
Can you see that Australian one where they changed all like the lingo to like Australian slang? Oh god,
that one's good for a good laugh.
It's really good.
If I ever want to use my tears of joy as lubrication, I might read up on that one.
All right, so let's jump from one topic of sheer degeneracy to another one. Fruits baskets. You ready? The season of Fruits Baskets sucks.
I hate what you just said.
No, it sucks. And here's why, okay? Because there are a dime a dozen shitty harems. And they're for both genres. You can have your shoujo genres. You can have your shonen genres for harem. Like, you got them. Fruits Baskets stood out because it was funny. It stood out for the same reason High School Host Club stood out. It was funny. You had a funny, entertaining show. And it was, sure, there was some serious topics, but it was funny. Every episode was funny. I haven't been laughing at this season of Fruits Baskets at all. Like, at all. And it's funny because the background cast is much more fleshed out than they had been traditionally. Her best friends are way more fleshed out than they had been in the original series. Yeah. And yet it's just bad.
That's where I disagree with you, though. I think that the fact that, granted, I do miss some of the comedy. I miss the gaggle of stuck up chicks singing their little tune about how they're part of the Yuki Club. That's it. That shit's cute and funny and shit. But at the same time, they pulled it back. It's more not dramatic, but it feels more grounded. Like they've toned down. The most recent episode, there was that one guy whose personality switches from being I don't care to I want to fuck Yuki.
Yeah, the cow.
At the drop. Yeah, the cow.
Yeah, he's great. Wonderful character.
And they toned down his like. He was very obnoxious in the original source material.
Yes, and he was great because he's not a major love interest. He's a side character. Blow him out of proportions. Make him dumb. Make him unbearably ridiculous. Like, that's what you do.
And to a degree, I agree with you if that's what you're going for. But this adaptation is very clearly going for less of the comedy side of Fruits Basket and more towards, the actual themes and story of Fruits Basket. And I am appreciating it more than not the source material, the manga is amazing, but more than the other anime. And don't get me wrong, it's full of flaws, and I almost dropped it, not out of like disgust or anything, but just out of, oh shit, did another episode come out? and that's just because I haven't been like keeping track of it. It comes out on a weird day, I think.
Yeah, it comes out on Thursdays, I believe.
Yeah, so it's an odd day for me because usually I don't watch anime on Thursday, so I end up missing it in the deluge of the weekend. But the only criticism I really have for it is that dumb fucking particle effect that they have every single time they transform.
No, that is great. Are you kidding me? That particle effect is so cheesy and bad. It's perfect. Like, the puff of smoke when they transform, that's amazing. Like,
yeah, but it's
and their animal character designs are great.
It's an Adobe After Images effect.
Who cares if
so
it's
bad.
an Adobe After Effect? Like, no. It is. Okay. I got to compare shows about the Zodiac. So we got the Chinese Zodiac here, and we got Fruits Baskets, and then right next to it is you have the Zodiac War. Okay.
Then we have the Zodiac Killer, and then we have
no.
Tyson. No, he's talking about Junie Tyson.
Junie Tyson. Now, I am much more interested in the Zodiac characters from Junie Tyson than I am Fruits Baskets.
That's what? We're not even talking about apples and oranges. We're talking about cauliflower and the celestial bodies here. There's no room for comparison. The only thing they have in common is that they're anime and they vaguely involve the Zodiac. Both of them vaguely involve the Zodiac.
Functionally, they're the exact same anime. We're brought in episode 1 from a girl's perspective, and we steadily get to meet the characters and learn about their backstories as the episodes progress. And in every single one of these animes, the mouse is an absolute asshole.
I don't know how much I can disagree with that, but if you reduce everything to their base elements,
because once again, look at it. The dog is the best character in both the Zodiac War and in Fruits Baskets. The mouse is an intolerable asshole that you want to watch die. The female characters aren't given nearly the amount of time to shine as they should. The boar is highly underappreciated in both of them. It's the exact same anime, except Junie Tyson is slightly better.
This is why we call Moth the man with the banned opinions.
just trust me. Junie Tyson is just a better Fruits Baskets.
Anyway, hey Frog, what's with this TWRP music video? I rewatched it for the podcast right before we started airing, and it's fucking amazing.
I'm glad we could switch something I can say literally anything about.
Real quick, before we get deep into it, I'm trying to decide here with that music video. Was it closer to Interstellar 555, that being the Daft Punk music video? Or
that's
was that
where my mind went.
Yeah, that's where my mind went as well. So, like, was it closer to Interstellar, or was it closer just to, like, the 1980s Monster of the Week stuff?
It can be both. I don't know. It's definitely got Interstellar in it. It's got Daft Punk written all over it.
Yeah. To a point, I would say yeah, but whenever I was watching it, I wasn't thinking that. I was thinking two things. First thing, Star Wars. Star Wars is just it jizzed on top of that.
I mean, it reminded me of Guardians of the Galaxy a little bit too. I mean, that's like more recent example.
Oh yeah, but the other thing it reminded me of is that we do not have enough. We don't have enough anime about sci-fi anime about people flying spaceships. There just isn't enough of it.
I agree. By the way, we didn't clarify. This is a TWRP or Twerp's music video, Starlight Brigade. Go watch it. Okay.
Yeah, it's I got to be careful here because I have very unpopular opinions about people in this.
No, you have unpopular opinions about one person who is unrelated to this, and one of the people in the music video just happens to be friends with that person.
Yeah.
Go away.
It's just no. Danny Sexbang is and I'll tell you this: he's got a great voice, and honestly, Ninja Sex Party has made me laugh a lot. I like Ninja Brian, and honestly, I like the character of Danny Sexbang. He reminds me a lot of Jimmy Kimmel, and the fact that like Jimmy Kimmel did the Man Show in the '90s, and like you know Jimmy Kimmel, like the Today Show, like
I know who he is.
Yeah, he did the Man Show, and so Danny Sexbang got popular, very similar to the way Jimmy Kimmel got big. Where he got popular with this outrageous, almost borderline chauvinistic persona he created, and we all get that it's a persona. We know the Man Show's not real. It's just meant to sell to a demographic. Like, we get that. But then Jimmy Kimmel goes out and becomes this, like, huge champion of social justice, and it's okay. You can change. You can become a better person. But he refuses to acknowledge the persona he was and say this person is dead. And until I hear somebody say that, or like somebody acknowledge like, hey, this was a person I was that I'm not anymore, or this is just an act, until I hear somebody say this, I can't support them. And it's stupid. It's a mental block on my part I can't get over.
What's that to do with Danny Sexbang, though?
Because he's the exact same person. Like, he got popular with Ninja Sex Party.
But he doesn't just acknowledge... he doesn't just not acknowledge his Danny Sexbang. He's still doing this Danny Sexbang character. Like, what's the problem?
Frog, I don't know if you can hear it, but what we're hearing right now is the sound of the galaxy flying outside of Moth's brain as it expands to a brand new state of being. As his brain is in another dimension wherein these things happened, and we can only accept it. Because arguing,
I understand that being a point of contention for you. Sure,
yeah, it's just I want people to acknowledge all they are. Honestly, Danny Sexbang, if you like actually go to his real Facebook account and like who he actually is, like his real day-to-day lifestyle, he is a wholesome, amazing, nice, well-meaning person, and I think he just got engaged recently, and I'm super happy for him. Like, he is in a great situation, but like I have a hard time creating a cognitive dissonance between the wholesome dude who's making music videos that I love and the dude who did Ninja Sex Party. It's like trying to watch a single Sylvester Stallone movie after seeing The Italian Stallion. You just can't do it.
But Moth, you need to understand, he's still Danny Sexbang. He's still releasing those songs. Like a few months ago, he released a new music video where he's singing a song to his loser younger self, and it's the exact same shit
Danny,
that he
don't you
used
know?
to make.
I love that music video.
Like, sounds amazing.
The whole new album came out this year, actually.
I think it comes down to, I actually don't dislike Danny Sexbang, but anybody who associates with Aaron Hanson, I have to find a reason to hate. Just because Aaron Hanson is such a garbage human being that like I have to find a reason to hate anybody who associates with him.
Are we gonna put this on the podcast?
Yes, we are. Like I'll call it out. I don't like Aaron Hanson.
Anything that's not blatantly offensive, I'll leave in.
Okay.
Aaron Hanson, like, don't get me wrong, I think he's like obnoxious and he's a has-been and he's not as good as he used to be, and when he was an animator he was much more interesting, and now he's running out of things to say, so he's become boring. But
I don't hate the guy though.
No, same.
I dislike him because he's a sociopath. Like,
that's a big jump.
No. Like, you guys talked about reasons to dislike Aaron Hanson that I don't care about. Like, a lot of guys from the original Newground crew don't really do much anymore. I mean, like, I'm really happy that Rice Pirate and Oni Cartoons and those guys are doing stuff, but a lot of the original Newgrounds animators have moved on, and I don't hold that against any of them. Like, you move on, you become an adult. My issue with Aaron Hanson is he became a producer, and he became a soulless producer. Like, he still creates content with his music videos, but he's a producer now. Like, he gets a hold of new and coming artists, and, like, maybe he sets them up right, but he is just a producer. He's a producer coasting off his old fame.
Yeah, but, like, I don't have a problem with that. Like, I don't think he's as soulless as you say. I think, like, that's kind of the thing. Whenever he stopped feeling Game Grumps, for example, he started to change it. Now I think they do more streams than anything else.
No, they're still doing Game Grumps.
Yeah, but it's different now.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I haven't, like, watched them in, like, I think maybe 1.5, maybe 2 years now. I was big into them before, but I just kind of fell off. I'm not a huge fan of how the things have been going, but that's just me.
Yeah, they're boring now.
Yeah, but I noticed very recently they started uploading, like, stream VODs. That's very odd.
Yeah,
but that's the thing. I don't think he's soulless. I think he wants to help people, like, not only like other people. He wants to help himself create other things.
Yeah,
like he had that entire, like he has his own show on YouTube Premium, that was like produced by Dan Harmon, about him and a few of them being League of Legends competitive players. And I watched the first episode of that, and it's not bad.
I've
like,
heard
they're actually doing
things about that series.
I said it was not bad. I did not say it was a pinnacle of human creation here.
I never said that either. I just wanted...
You can put it on the background and masturbate, not worry about it.
Basically...
No, I have a couple of events I watched happen with Aaron Hanson that just kind of permanently shitlisted him for me.
No, I get that. It's like people... Grumps have had some weird...
Well, no, like, I met him at a con. That's actually what probably put me down the road, is when I actually met him in person. So, like, I'm at a con in Texas because I was in the Air Force at the time, and I went out to a con that day, and the Game Grumps were there. Like, it was Aaron Hanson, he was there, and he was manning the booth, and I probably dropped, like, $200 worth of merch because I was a huge fan of, like, his stuff. He was actually with Oni and the guys, like, he was selling their merch as well. And I was talking to him, and I didn't really, because I know famous people don't like to be bothered, but I went up to him and I was like, hey, would it be okay if I took a picture with you? Like, you know, could I do this? And I had paid for stuff already. Like, here's $200 worth of your merch in my bag, and I'm asking to take a picture of you. And I got this very reluctant, all right. And he, like, shuffles himself out of his seat and, like, stands over by me. And he's like, is this good? And I was like, at this point, I'm, like, not really feeling it anymore. I'm like, sure. So I think to myself, I'm like, okay, maybe he's having a bad day. Like, because people have bad days. It's always that one experience that ruins it for someone forever. Mm-hmm. But then after that, I just start noticing, like, he becomes, like, kind of an angrier person. Like, maybe he'd already been, and I just started focusing more on it. But, like, he broke up with JonTron, which was probably good for both of them. Like,
yeah,
that was good for both of them to break up with JonTron. But he breaks up with JonTron, and then he gets on the official podcast with Critical, and this is years later. This was like 2 years ago. Yeah. He gets on the official podcast with Kaya and with Critical, and they do this episode, and the entire episode he's just plugging, like, the entire damn episode he's just plugging his tour company. He's plugging, like, the tours that he goes on. He's plugging what he does for content creators. And sure, if he creates a vehicle for content creators, awesome, I can respect that. But then Kaya is like, hey, you know, we're content creators, we're looking to expand, can we work with you? And he goes, yeah, that'll be great, we can work together, life will be great, you know, we can set up tour buses and everything, and we can get you on tour. And then the very next episode, all of them are in a bad mood. Like, everyone on the official podcast is pissed. And eventually, I think it was Kaya who breaks down and is like, yeah, so as soon as we hung up the call with Aaron Hanson, he blocked all of us on Discord.
Whoa.
That sounds like a joke.
No, like, they were pissed. Like, they were mad. They're like, yeah, we were going to see about doing tours and, like, live performances together, and we couldn't message him. He didn't message all of us. And then as soon as the episode was uploaded, we tried to message him again, and we got that error that, like, you don't share any Discords with this guy. Mm. So,
that's crazy.
Yeah, so, like, I see him very much as and it's terrible. Like, I'm sitting here, I'm a nobody bitching about Aaron Hanson. Like, I'm crucifying this podcast. I don't like him. I see him as a very fake person. Danny Sexbang, I know I ripped on him earlier. He's fine. I'm fine with him. I got that cognitive dissonance I have a hard time with, but he's great. It's just anybody who associates with Aaron Hanson, I feel weird about.
At the end of the day, you know, be it the 90s or the 2019s, it's always some long-haired bitch named Hanson that makes music that got us all up in a tizzy.
Yeah, I liked Hanson, all right? As a band, like, it was just three brothers having fun.
You heard it here first. He likes Aaron Hanson. That was all fake.
No, I like Hanson, not Aaron Hanson.
It was all a ruse.
I like the boy band more than I like the animator.
Drama.
All right, so let's move on to
the music video. It was great. We all loved it. Watch it.
Yes, honestly, that music video is amazing.
Yeah, no, it's crazy.
It makes me want more of what it is.
I think I saw a lot of comments asking her, like, can we just make this like into a show, like, or a movie or something? Just give me more of whatever the fuck this is. I want this.
Can we just abandon Starbomb and Ninja Sex Party and just do twerk?
God, I don't like Starbomb. I don't like Starbomb.
Yeah, Aaron Hanson is not a rap boy.
I mean, no. Here's the thing, right? Have you ever heard Stamper like made a rap song? About taxes.
Get Millions, the tax return, right?
I listen to that every single year when I do my taxes.
And Aaron has a good verse in it.
He does.
It's
actually.
really good. So he can do it. He can rap.
This is terrible. I spent 10 minutes ripping on Aaron Hanson, and Stamper is like my favorite online personality on the planet.
Yeah.
Like, Stamper, I think I've told you guys this, but Stamper could just narrate an IKEA catalog, and I would read it. Like, I would listen to it for hours.
If Stamper appeared in front of me and said, "Get on your knees," I'd be like, "Okay,
yeah, like straight up, like your semen probably tastes like alcohol, but sure."
Yeah, him and like Zach are just so fucking entertaining naturally. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's great. I like Stamper a lot, and yeah, why are we talking about Stamper? Right, Fat Tax Refund. Watch that video too.
Yeah, Fat Refund. It's really good.
I really wish there was an actual music video for it.
Yeah, it's just a great song. But it's got but Aaron does have a good verse in it. So like he can rap. He has rapped, and it's a good verse. So why is Starbomb feel so weird? I don't know.
I feel like Aaron forces himself on Starbomb a lot. Like I don't feel like Starbomb is organic. Like Ninja Sex Party is organic. This twerp feels very organic. I actually like the background band that Danny has, like the robot and everything.
Well, that is Twerp actually. On like the cover songs, the cover albums for Ninja Sex Party, Twerp does the background music. I have Under the Covers Volume 2 signed right here. Like, I love that album.
Yeah, no,
that's amazing.
And just to reiterate again, because I'm sure we lost everybody when I started railing on Danny. Like, I don't have an issue with Danny. I like him. I like Twerp. I like his music a lot. Yeah. I have to find issue with anybody who associates with Aaron Hanson.
I understand.
But he has to nitpick everything. He is the man with the band opinion.
As a guy who's actually been a fan more of Twerp recently than Ninja Sex Party, not that I have anything against NSP, I love them. But like, I've just, I feel like I've fallen out of love with them as a band and more of like, I like them as a comedy group more like now.
You know what surprises me about them though? The people that I would never expect to like Ninja Sex Party loves them. Like,
right? No, I'm with you.
I wouldn't imagine the LGBT community to love Ninja Sex Party because of like the fact that originally he would rail on gay people in his songs. Like,
I mean, it wasn't really a rail. Love him. It was just like a little jabs and stuff. Like I remember, like Ninja Brian's gay.
Mostly Brian's gay.
Mostly Brian's gay.
Yeah, like the weirdest people like them, and it's funny. Like I like them; they're fine. But just like the people you would not expect to like Ninja Sex Party loves them.
Yeah. But go listen to Twerp. Their last album, which had the Starlight Brigade on it, is incredible. It's like one of my favorite albums of last year. We're probably not going to talk about music very much on here, but it's.
Outside of Danny, do they like have any vocals? Because the only time I've ever heard vocals with them is when Danny's singing.
They do have vocals. They have a lot of guests on the album actually, from different vocalists, and also they sometimes do like the kind of a Daft Punk autotune voice.
Cool.
That's the only time they're very Daft Punk inspired, but they're a lot more energetic. Like Daft Punk usually makes these very like mellow, like.
You don't have to tell me. I'm well aware.
I mean, yeah, but like just as and then they're very funky, both of them. But I think while Daft Punk goes to like kind of like the mellow funk vibes, Twerp goes to more like the disco, high energy shit.
It's also the ages in which these people grew up. I mean, I don't know if you know this, but Daft Punk are in their 40s, if not 50s.
I think 50s. Yeah. I love Daft Punk to death. By the way.
So like,
I grew up on them.
Daft Punk came in about the time of Devo, where you're seeing like synthesizers and sampling tracks is a big thing. So a lot of Daft Punk's like mellow sounds and whatnot came from the limitations of the technology at their time. Whereas Twerp has Fruity Loops right in front of them. They have FL Studio. So like if you're going to talk about the fact that like Daft Punk is more mellow, it's like, yeah, because a lot of their stuff they had to make. Like they didn't have machines that synthesized the noise.
I don't think that's necessarily true. They had stuff to make energetic tracks, and they did make energetic tracks like aerodynamic and stuff. Is not like a calm track at all. But
Superheroes is probably my favorite song by them.
They're pretty good.
Yeah.
But like they made an album like 2013 I think. RAM?
Yeah,
which was
RAM,
awesome.
Random Access Memories. I think that was 2012.
Fantastic album, but it's still like the same kind of mellow vibe, right? It wasn't like they didn't change. I mean, they did change. It's still different, but it's got the same kind of feel to it. It's got some more actual instruments rather than like electronic, which was a little bit like okay, but it was still awesome. That's one of my favorite albums too. Which
2013, you were right.
2015, yeah, I thought so.
Yeah,
they won like the Grammy, I think.
It won a couple awards. It was weird because like I don't know. It was definitely better than their third album that they spent 6 weeks in a coke-fueled haze making.
Which one?
The one that Technologic's on.
Oh,
What's it called?
School?
Human After All? No.
Human After
Homework
All?
was their first album, and then Discovery. Yeah,
Discovery is like their perfect album.
Discovery is the perfect album.
It's so
like,
fucking good.
It's like a fever you can't sweat out. Like there's a few select perfect albums on the planet, and those two are right there.
Yeah, Discovery is so fucking perfect.
Sorry, hey, with you, that's probably a Lynyrd Skynyrd album. Like, let's see, Lynyrd Skynyrd discography.
It's pretty key.
Let's see here. Would you say that your favorite album by them is Last Rebel? Do you think their best album is Nuttin' Fancy, or you're more of a Last Rebel kind of guy?
I'm more of a Noose and a Rafter kind of guy.
I don't actually know if that's one of their albums. I don't know. At this point, with like Southern rock, I could believe Noose and a Rafter is the name of an album.
No, Noose and a Rafter would be the name of a country rap album that comes out today.
Yeah.
By Yellow Wolf.
Featuring Lil Nas X.
No, just featuring Eminem in every song, or else he's not going to sell a single track.
I'm not afraid to kill myself.
Oh. We're going to cut that one, right?
I'm really glad that burp was really clean so that no one has to hear it. Thank you, Frog.
Well, no, like, just do the audio scrub thing where, like, it sounds like he said something really offensive.
Just auto-tune it to make it sound really sick. Just bleep it and then say, like, Frog, you can't say the N-word like that. God!
This podcast is demonetized.
We're now on InfoWars.
They're making the podcast gay!
I mean, I'm okay with that. Like, our favorite anime this season is Sarah's On Mine. You don't get gayer than that.
It's pretty fucking gay.
I mean, you can get gayer than that, and it's called That Dude's Last Anime and Yuri Kuma, and I mean, you cannot enjoy Yuri Kuma because there's just not enough penises in it.
Yuri Kuma's not gay though. Like, Yuri Kuma has girls
in
it.
What? Yuri Kuma is literally about how Japan society doesn't accept LGBT people. No, like that is not even the subtext. That is the text of the narrative. And it ends with these two people. The show ends with them kissing each other and one of the loving each other, and then society straight up kills them with guns because they're too radical. It is the gayest shit ever. Like, Jesus Christ, there's so much lesbians in Yuri Kuma.
It's got Yuri in the name.
Yes, it's the gayest show I've ever seen.
So basically, it's Tattoo's music video, All the Things She Said.
Yes, but more gay.
There's nothing more gay than Tattoo.
Ah, fuck, you got me there.
Wait. You know what I'm talking about, right? Like, I'm not just going off here on a late 90s rant right now, am I?
Your words are lost on me.
Frog, Tattoo was a Scandinavian band consisting of two girls who were both very much lesbians.
Hot.
And everyone in America assumed they were sisters.
Yeah. And they're famous for All the Things She Said, which occasionally,
all the things she said, running through her head.
You know, it's funny. It's 2019, in case you guys didn't know the current year. And if I ever let Pandora or Spotify randomly do a workout album for me while I'm just working out, and it chooses the songs, I will still get All the Things She Said on, like, remix.
Whenever I listen to my YouTube music, because I have YouTube Premium, because I watch a lot of YouTube.
What?
Whenever I listen
to...
So
you're the single subscriber.
Yeah, I was going to say, how does it feel being, like...
It feels great knowing...
How does it feel knowing you're the only person who's ever seen Cobra Kai?
Dude, the funniest thing is, I've not seen Cobra Kai.
I actually want to see Cobra Kai, but like...
So literally no one's seen Cobra Kai then, if you haven't seen Cobra Kai.
You're the only person who has the power to, and you still haven't seen it.
Dude.
Not even the director of Cobra Kai watched it while he was directing it.
What's funny is I want to watch Cobra Kai, but at this point I'm in a standoff with YouTube that, like, I hate them so much I don't want to give them any more money.
I keep getting fucking ads for Cobra Kai. I don't fucking care about Cobra Kai. Shut the fuck up about Cobra Kai.
Once again, while we're talking about Godzilla and the stuff I grew up on, like, the Karate Kid, those first two movies, we ain't gonna talk about the third one, but, like, the first two, like, I want to see Cobra Kai.
Yeah, Karate Kid's amazing. Cobra Kai is the name of the bad guys in the first Karate Kid.
And now they're the good guys.
Oh.
I think. I don't know because I don't watch it.
The story is the main character, the rival guy who was a piece of shit in the first Karate Kid. He is now an adult and he's teaching karate, and he's still a piece of shit, and he's learning to not be a piece of shit. That's the whole thing. And I think he even beats the shit out of a few kids.
So it's generic white guy redemption arc. The 37th season of this shit to show up in 2019.
No, it's Trump supporter redemption arc, actually. From what I hear, it does go there.
Let's not get political, please. Let's not say something that'll alienate people, because I'm at any given point 3 minutes away from going on a Ron Paul rant, and I try so hard to prevent it all the time. So let's just not.
Let's go on a RuPaul rant instead.
I love RuPaul. RuPaul's amazing.
My mom watches RuPaul's Drag Race, and I can't do it. I can't.
Honestly, RuPaul, I would not have known about RuPaul if not for AMV Hell. But RuPaul and anime music videos are a match made in heaven.
Dude, I follow a Twitter called AMV Hell Highlights, and it's just,
Wait, last I checked, AMV Hell hasn't been around since 2015. They've tried to reboot it countless times.
I think it doesn't really happen, but people still have it, so they just make highlights and stuff, and it's.
Well, AMV Hell has become a thing, kind of like YouTube poops, where people occasionally will just release their own.
Pretty much. And that's fine. I think there was one that they did, somebody was trying to recreate it, and it was just called AMV Hell Afterbirth or something. But no, I a lot of my humor originally was founded around AMV Hell, so I have a lot of respect for AMV Hell.
Because of the internet thing, I totally missed AMV Hell.
Oh yeah. Basically, I think you can go on Google Video still and find AMV Hell 3. Just don't watch 2, 0, divided by 0. Yeah, just don't watch those 3, and you'll be good.
I think I've seen the movie.
Yeah, AMV Hell 3, the movie, great. AMV Hell 4, great. 5, 6, 7, great. Don't watch 0, divided by 0, or 2.
What about 1?
It's fine. It was just a 15-minute clip they shared at a convention once. It's great.
Oh, okay. But going on to things that aren't great, let's talk about the primary source of my internal struggle for the past few weeks.
Your budding sexuality?
If only. Let's talk about One Punch Man Season 2.
Oh, yeah.
Are we going to talk about the fact that, right as we mentioned that we want to rail on it, it suddenly picked up in quality super fast?
I don't agree. It's okay. I only watched up to episode 6, okay. and apparently even the director was like, "Hey guys," whenever the first episode was coming out, "Hey guys, stick on to it because we're working really hard, Daijobu desu." And I'm like, I don't believe you. And even if it reaches high tier quality after episode 6, everything before that was either the worst thing I've ever seen or bog standard to the point where I don't even consider it One Punch Man.
Well, let's be fair, okay? Let's be very fair before we destroy One Punch Man for what it is. We know the history. Everybody should know the history that Madhouse had been notorious up until the point of One Punch Man of refusing to do a second season of any anime. They came out and they said, we will only do one season.
I love this.
And then they drop One Punch Man. They're like, we're not going to do it, but we'll figure something out to do with One Punch Man. And then they do Overlord Season 2. And then they just start cranking out season after season after season. But then you're like, oh, so you guys are going to take care of One Punch Man like you're supposed to. And they're like, nah, we're going to give it to this studio that's not as good as Madhouse.
And they have 1 year.
We're going to give them a 3-month deadline.
But, yeah. Okay, but...
They didn't even get a year. They got 3 months.
It's not 3 months. It was 10 months.
Yeah, but it's not nearly enough.
It's not even close.
On top of that, they wouldn't even let them have the same director that Madhouse got, because that director, the only reason the first One Punch Man was any good is because of all the connections he had. None of the connections were there. Yeah. None of the resources were there. The only thing that's still there is Tokyo Jam Project did the intro again.
But the animation isn't any good in the intro, though.
No, it's not even the animation. It's the fact that for some reason they put a texture over Genos.
Oh, yeah, no. Yeah, they got a weird, shiny... No, okay, here's the thing. Over, not even just that, but over, everyone's skin, there is a weird gradient I don't know why. There's like they gave everyone a sunburn.
Yeah, and Genos is the worst.
Yeah, no, they gave Genos like a goddamn they made his fucking arms into platinum.
I'm still convinced that Deadass, whenever he's on screen, that's just really good CGI, and they hit it really well because it doesn't look real. It's so uncanny and uncomfortable whenever he moves.
I think the cardinal sin though for this one, like my biggest complaint with One Punch Man is Metal Bat is my favorite hero. Like hands down, Metal Bat is my favorite hero, and I was so excited for his fight because in the manga, his big fight was against the Centipede, and then it was against the Hero Killer. Like, you got two really good, really comedic fights, and it wasn't just bad that fight was really poorly done. It was, as soon as that fight was over, the animation picks up. It's like, oh, so my favorite... it's so bad.
So I want to really set my base here before we go forward. I want it on record, because in the event that someone who really likes One Punch Man listens to this, we get some One Punch stands. If that happens, I want some things on the record. Okay, I am not an anime elitist. I don't think an anime has to have Sakuga every 5 seconds. And granted, the first season set a precedent, and the second season doesn't live up to it, and that's its own issue. But I think that story alone can carry a show. One of my favorite shows is one called Bokurano, and that show looks like liquid ass, but it has really engaging story and really good direction. My issues with One Punch Man season 2 isn't that the animation is mediocre. It is. My issue is that it's
less than mediocre.
Yeah, it's bad.
In parts, especially that fucking first episode. Like, when I was watching that first episode, I was actually the most offended. Whenever Saitama kills the bird creature and you just don't see anything, it's just, it cuts back to him and it's on the ground outside. It's like, if you want to convey that King is way weaker than Saitama, you know what would be a really good way to show that? Showing Saitama atomizing the skull of a fucking bird, not just cut to black and then suddenly its body's on the ground. Like that, he's called One Punch Man and we didn't get to see him throw a punch.
No, I actually think that it's so poorly paced that one is an amazing mangaka as far as like writing goes. Like, one is great. But the fact that the pacing is bad, like everything is so bad that one's amazingly poorly drawn writing isn't coming to the surface is terrible. Like, you don't even get the same jokes. Like, the fact that Metal Bat beat himself in the face with his own baseball bat wasn't even conveyed. It looks like he made out with his baseball bat if you watch that scene. He's like, oh, I just had to rub my face with this metal aluminum bat and I feel better. No, he beat himself in the face.
Yeah, that's like the biggest problem. Whereas season 1 really captured the gravitas of the redraw of the manga, season 2... It doesn't capture the character of the original, like, say, Mob Psycho does, and it doesn't capture anything that has to do with the redraw that the original first season of the anime was more or less based on. It feels like an anime that has an identity, but also doesn't have one, because it's just there.
Yeah, and it's rough, because we said this again. It's not JC Staff's fault. Like, I want to crap on JC Staff because I don't love them as a studio. It's not their fault. Madhouse, who's my favorite studio, screwed them. Absolutely screwed them.
I'm someone who... I don't blame JC Staff, obviously.
No, I don't think anybody does blame JC Staff. It's just been handled horribly.
Even the fact, like you said, it's getting better. It's not really on JC Staff. Like, they have the talent, they just didn't have the time.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's actually as on Madhouse as... And don't get me wrong, Madhouse having that we don't do sequels and then doing the garbage fire that is Overlord season everything, 100% I get it. But at the same time, One Punch Man had a production committee. Production committees are the ones that pay for it to get made. Madhouse said that they don't have time for it, and so the production committee said, "Hey, JC staff, get this out so we can make some money." Yeah, I don't blame Madhouse as much as I do the people who wanted to make money off of One Punch Man.
Yeah, no, it's I don't think it's a studio's fault because a studio can say I don't want to do a second season. Even if it's suicide, they are allowed to say we don't want to do this, and there's no problem with it.
Also, let's just talk about how the animation is just the fucking worst thing I've ever seen. Jesus Christ.
No, it's you're giving it I think we're giving it too much crap because it's in the shadow of a giant. Like if One Punch Man season 1 hadn't been so good, this season wouldn't be so bad.
No. Okay, here's the deal. I will pull it back. I'll pull it back a little bit, just a little bit. That first episode is one of the most poorly animated pieces of media I've ever seen.
Okay, yeah, that's. I mean, it wasn't great, that's for sure. But once again, I think you're looking at it through Coke lenses or something.
Here's an opinion I have. Okay, so I don't even like One Punch Man season 1 that much. I
blasphemy, but go ahead.
Don't even care about One Punch Man in general, to be honest. It's like I'm gonna get crucified.
Yeah, you are. In fact, I'm getting a tree right now.
But I like the first season, in spite of it, though.
I'm a burn a cross with Kermit on it in your yard
because it looks amazing. So maybe that is just a reflection. Maybe it's harder for me to judge season 2 that way. But they basically took away the one thing that I loved about One Punch Man.
The one thing?
Huh?
The one?
They took away the one single thing.
I'm going to go and jump off this fucking
The mangaka is named One. Do you get it?
I don't get it, but
No, the mangaka is named One. The one thing, they took the mangaka out of the manga.
Could you explain it?
No, it's so the mangaka goes by the surname One.
My point being that, like, I mean, this is probably, like, fucking illogical as shit, but... Oh, God. So...
Stop. Just cut it out. Just cut... All right, continue. So this might not make a lot of mistakes. You might get crucified for this. Go ahead.
I mean, I will. But, like, because I just don't like One Punch Man that much. I don't find the characters very appealing. And that's, like, the biggest thing people like about it, I assume, is the characters. But, I don't know. Like, when I've watched, like, the opening. I watched, like, some of the first episode. I didn't watch very much. I'll be real. I just couldn't. There's nothing there for me anymore. It's because this is a bad example though, because like you're saying that like we're comparing it to the first season and looking at it badly because of that, but take it in this way, where firstly, like when any aspect of a show is bad, it, obviously objectively it undermines its quality, but undermines is the wrong word. It has less quality for sure if the rest is equal. But like if one thing is the same. Like, to say the writing quality is the same, I assume.
No.
Yes, it is.
No.
Fuck
the jokes don't deliver nearly as well as they used to.
Yeah, but that's a fault of the animation direction.
Yes, it's not a fault of the animation direction. Gintama have entire episodes of the show where they don't animate anything as a joke, and it still delivers.
That's the thing, though. Isn't that, like, made for... Isn't that not a manga, or am I wrong?
No, Gintama's a manga.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, they might have like made some jokes for the manga specifically, or the anime specifically. I mean.
Well, the problem. Okay, you'll continue, but I just want to explain
also,
something.
because one has very visual humor.
Yes.
Gintama has a lot of dry jokes. It's like you can't. It's not going to adapt the same way.
The season 1 of One Punch Man made changes to some of its scenes and even some of the I think even the order of some of the plots.
Yeah, like adaptation or something.
Yes. This second season is just straight up just more of an adaptation. That's why it's and I'm not saying it's less funny because one. I'm saying it's less funny because, as Frog was saying, the people it 100% feels like the people who are making this, and obviously it is, they don't have the same passion for the source material.
No, I think I would disagree. I would say they do have the passion, they just didn't have the time. At the end of the day, I think time is what killed this anime. I would honestly say that budget committee or whatever you were talking about, the time limit killed the anime. Because, like, if I recall, the keyframe animator went to the hospital on multiple occasions for trying to make it good. Like, he just kept working.
Here's the deal, though. You go to the scenes that people have pointed out as being really well animated in season 2, and they are not. They are flashy, and there's lots of movement on the screen,
but they're not well
but
animated.
They are not well animated.
Point towards like the Gyaro. Is it Gao? I don't know.
His name's Garo.
Garo, my bad. Like people started like linking this fight with Garo and like Bat Guy or something. I think it was that.
Are you talking about Tank Top?
Tank Top guy. Tank Top guy. That's the one. And like, there's like, oh, it looks pretty good. I'm like, no, they shook it a lot. They hid the animation from you, so you couldn't tell what was happening. And you fell for it, you fool. You monkey.
You rube.
You fucking Cro-Magnon. You fool.
Whenever I first saw that in like, I saw that in a clip on Twitter, and someone named Nino, who I follow, he's an alright guy. He had retweeted someone posting it.
Let's not crucify or insult other content creators on this podcast.
Okay,
I'm not.
Hanson.
I'm not.
There you go. I'm glad you caught that,
him.
Frog.
But Nino had retweeted.
Let's not talk about that when he called out Mother's Basement for 5 minutes last time. I'm gonna go.
I prefer Mother's Basement over Giggin. Thank you. That's it.
Nino retweeted the clip of that fight between Garo and Tank Top where people were saying, "Hey, look at the animation; it's gotten so much better," and his response to it was perfect.
Stop talking. What'd I miss?
You missed the perfect response.
So yeah. So this guy, his tweet was perfect tweet, right?
Cool.
But yeah. He said in response to that clip of Garo fighting Tank Top, someone was saying, "Wow, they've gotten so much better," and his response was, "If I've ever seen damning with faint praise, this is it." Because that fight, whenever fucking Tank Top does his rush attack and it like does a zoom in on his feet and he's fucking doing tippy toes as he's rushing forward, I laughed when I saw that clip, and I laughed in context when I watched the episode. It was the funniest shit I ever saw.
Yeah, people in a server that we frequent, we're talking about how I think was it you Mike? You said like they hid the animation really well in this episode.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh yeah, you're talking about a good show, and you have to praise that when they hide the animation.
Yeah, they hid the lack of animation really well.
Oh, fuck.
I think that was episode 6 that I was talking about.
It really fucked me up.
Remember, less frames equals more animation.
Oh god.
And that's the thing, like you can do limited animation and it work and be good.
Yeah. Gintama actually has an entire episode dedicated to that joke. There's an entire episode where he's laying in bed for the entire episode talking about like his life and how wrong it's gone, and then it just ends with one of them kicking open the door and being like, "Are you just doing this because we ran out of animation budget?" And that's great. You could do that.
Wasn't there a Gainax show that did that? They were like the last episode was like drawn on paper.
That was Neon Genesis Evangelion.
The last two episodes of Evangelion, it's actually not that they ran out of budget. They were just being super high concept.
Yeah, I didn't watch Evangelion. I'm gonna get double crucified.
Well, no, I haven't either. I'm waiting for the Netflix airing of it to watch it.
Fair enough.
It airs on June 26th. It'll come out on June 26th, like a week after my birthday. I'm really excited.
Yeah, it's one of those things where like I was growing up, anime when it started getting big on the internet, like NGA or NGE, whatever it is. That was one of the popular animes. Like you had 4. It was When They Cry, Neon Genesis Evangelion, One Piece, and Naruto. Like those were the big 4.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited because I missed it the first time around.
It's weird. We talk about shit that I missed because I didn't have the internet, but I was there for Evangelion, and I had no one to talk to about it either. Like, it was just... I had that and Fooly Cooly are 2 shows I had in a complete and total vacuum because I had no one to talk to about them. So I have super high reverence for them because the whole, like... the whole environment on the internet of X thing is shit because of some small thing that I don't like... which every single one of us is guilty of. So I'm not even throwing individuals under the bus.
Sayonara Depression Sensei, hate it, sucks.
You also hate Kill la Kill's the best anime ever made, but we won't.
I absolutely hate Kill la Kill.
Okay.
And I'll tell you, I told you why I hate Kill la Kill. If they just switched the gender of every single character, Kill la Kill would have been good.
I'm gonna lay down some stuff here. I'm a Trigger fanboy. Everyone knows this. I love pretty much everything they've made. I'm not a huge fan of Kill la Kill though.
Yeah, because it's bad.
It's not bad. It's mediocre.
Yeah, it's mostly mediocre with an okay animation.
It's got some really fun characters.
Yeah, and it got a fighting game it didn't deserve.
The fighting game's not out yet.
I will honestly say that without Zone, Kill la Kill would not have been as popular as it is.
That is crazy.
No, that's
you do not need someone making porn parodies of a show that has that much ecchi in it. Okay.
No, I mean, that was like made after the show blew up. That was like 2 years after it was fucking over.
Yeah, listen, and nobody like I don't know.
Kill la Kill is like legitimately a fantastic show.
Boring.
It's all right. I didn't finish it though.
You didn't? Oh my god!
I got like
I'm
most
talking
of the way
with
through.
One of the worst people, and also someone who dropped. I
got like 16 episodes in, and I was like, I just don't.
There's
care.
16 episodes. I thought there were only
24.
like 12.
There's 24.
Holy crap!
Take me
Listen,
home.
I am the biggest like Gurren fanboy ever. You know this.
Gurren
I
Lagann's
love
great.
It's my favorite anime of all time. I will fucking fight people to the death for it. And this is the same person telling you that I don't like Kill la Kill that much. It's like I'm not like coming at a place of like ignorance here. I just didn't like it, dude. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, I mean Kill la Kill, more like the fans make me kill myself.
Good one. Yeah, good one, man.
Yeah. So, Mike,
I'm gonna fucking kill myself.
Yeah, you're alone in this podcast, by the way. You have two people who dislike Kill la Kill. How does that make you feel?
I don't dislike it. I just didn't love it. That's all.
It's
okay. Like a 6.
Frog, you know those people that say that Gridman is a bad show, and
it is a bad show. It was boring.
Okay. You didn't finish it, did you?
Gridman's boring. I made it like 3 episodes in, and I was like, I am so bored.
That's why you find it boring. Okay.
Gridman has one of the best trigger it
is a fucking mindfuck.
Life affirming messages that has ever been in a Trigger or Gainax work.
I feel like at this point Trigger is one of those studios where it's just like all the people who are it's like the Miami Dolphins. Like all the people who are fans of Trigger put them on this shrine that like Trigger can do no wrong.
No.
I'm not even. I don't like Kill la Kill. I'm a huge Trigger fan.
It's just like Trigger
Ninja
fans
Slayer From is one of the worst things I've ever seen. Kisniver fell apart in the last 5 episodes. Like, they are not bulletproof. But every single thing they've made, with the exception of Ninja Slayer From, I find something I enjoy in. And most of their works are some that touch me emotionally and physically. Not really physically. I'm not one to actually do the whole whatever.
It's that surface level touching you emotionally.
Oh,
it's that, forcing you to be emotionally touched because they're making it emotional. Like, you know what has one of the most emotional endings I've ever seen in an anime?
This bitch is gonna bring up some bullshit.
No, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood has an amazing emotional ending because you spent 60 episodes on this wonderful journey with this great group of people, and then you get an entire episode where you see all of them be happy, and it ends, and it's great. Like, Gurren Lagann did that as well. But
you two need to watch Little Witch Academia.
Oh my gosh! You mean Trash Can Factory?
Hear me out. I watched 4 episodes. That's it.
Yeah, Little Witch Academia is not good either.
Okay, no, I'm not going to say it's not
good.
good.
It's moe trash.
I haven't seen enough of it to judge it properly. I just wasn't interested at the time.
No, Little Witch Academia has one of the most complex interwoven narratives that I've seen in a fucking anime.
Stupid, useless moe characters acting cute. That's
it has this great narrative. It's just fucking amazing. It's about how no matter what, you shouldn't give up on what you dream.
Every anime is a 5 out of 10.
It's Happy Tree Friends, the anime. It's not good.
What are you even talking about anymore?
This is the more
what is this world we live in?
This is what I was really hoping was going to happen. Last week
There's
was
a mistake in the function of your brain. It's called autism.
Last week was not Moth I Know. This is Moth I Know.
Well, I had to be careful last week. Like, you got to realize every time you get 100% Moth takes, we're going to lose viewers. Like, we are absolutely going to lose viewers.
No, Moth, we're going to get viewers, and they're not the ones we want.
You're going to be like our Carl Pilkington. You're going to be like that guy we just picked the brain of and see what the fuck's up with it.
It's just like, what have I done on this episode? I've compared the Zodiac War to Fruits Baskets. I've railed on the golden child of the internet, Danny Sexbang. And now I'm comparing Happy Tree Friends to Little Witch Academy. Like, if we have any viewers at the end of this, I'll be impressed.
Okay, no, but like Gridman's actually fucking amazing.
Yes,
and you have to finish it to get why it's amazing.
It's not.
I mean, 100%. Like I was in on Gridman at the beginning because I was a fan of the original. I was a fan of not even Tokusatsu. I was a fan of the original Gridman. Like growing up, it came out in '93, the year I was born. I grew up with that shit.
I'm gonna tell our viewers right now. Instead of watching Gridman, just watch Demon Bane.
Oh God,
it's much better.
Earlier this week, I linked...
He won't watch Kill la Kill because it's got boobs. He'll recommend Demon Bane.
Demon Bane is an Eldritch mecha anime, and that's all it is. It's giant robots fighting Eldritch abominations. That's the entire anime, and there's no other content.
The only Eldritch abomination I want to fight is you.
It's even got Herbert West in it. I mean, what more could you want from an anime?
Earlier this week... I sent a link to a video in the group chat about Gridman. Fuck, I can't even fucking talk.
Was it Mother's Basement?
No, believe it or not.
Fuck no.
It was from a very small boy called Man Mode.
Second best guy ever.
Second best guy. It was a great video. Awesome. And he had a very similar complaint to you, Moth. He thought that the first, not even 3 episodes, the first 5 episodes of the show were really boring.
Okay. Let me. Okay, you guys have played MMOs, right?
Okay,
like
listen.
you've played Final Fantasy or World of Warcraft, right?
No, I hate them. I hate their they suck. They're all fucking terrible. Stop.
Okay, then perfect. So listen. So when you get recommended an MMO and you start playing and you're level 30 and all you've done is killed fucking kobolds for 28 hours straight, and your buddy's like, no, bro, you got to get to level 60. Trust me, the game is a lot of fun at level 60. What the hell am I doing from level 1 to 59?
I understand. No, I'm with you 100%. But, hear me out. It kind of matters that it's boring.
No, you cannot use that as a defense.
I'm not.
You can't say it's good because it's boring.
It's part of the plot.
How is that good? That is bad writing.
It's not bad writing.
It's so good. It's such good writing. You don't get it.
It's good because it's boring. What kind of bullcrap is this? Sarah Zonmai has shit that doesn't make sense until 8 episodes in. That's good. This is boring bullshit plot writing.
It's not.
Mom, you don't even like Sarah Zonmai for the story. You like it because it's gay.
Here's the thing, they're even early on, they're putting little hints together and little plot threads and little things like, oh, what's that? Oh, what's this? But you don't catch on that, apparently. It's supposed to give intrigue, but
you can't just call light motifs genius writing. You can't say a light motive makes something good.
I don't want to spoil it because I don't want to ruin it for you when you do watch it, but...
I'm not going to watch it!
Oh, you motherfucker. It's so good.
Stop singing, Mike. If my freaking opinions on Danny Sexbang aren't going to cost us the audience your singing is.
How long have we been going for?
2 hours.
Almost.
And that's been the We Hate Anime podcast. Your source for the biggest pieces of bullshit this side of the internet. I hate anime, a.k.a. English Mike. You can follow me at AnnieMikeru on Twitter. Frog has some things. You go fucking ahead while I just breathe for a second.
Follow me on Twitch and Twitter at FrogKing, FR0GK1NG, both of them. And Moth has stuff probably. I don't know, does he?
No, I'm not giving our audience my Facebook account. No.
But here's the thing. This podcast's audience is either going to be on Moth's side 100%, or it will create a brigade, and we don't know yet, so I understand.
Tell you what, when we have an audience, like, if we get, like, 500 likes on Twitter, I will get on our Twitter account. And you know what I'm going to post? I'm not going to post, like, stuff related to our content. I'm just going to post my conspiracy theories. Like, our entire Twitter feed is just going to be theories about the New World Order. That's it. And how anime is responsible for it.
I can't wait for that time.
Thanks, everyone, for joining us. I hope you all have a wonderful day. And I'm going to go soak my feet and rest my head and think not of this conversation.
And just remember, Kill la Kill is bad, and so is Trigger.